Here we have a pre-owned 2016 Ford Focus. This one comes in the SE trim level in shadow black, and then we have the charcoal black cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine. It's made into a 6-speed automatic transmission. This one has a little over 90,000 miles on it. To the front end here, we get our halogen headlamps. And honestly, a pretty sophisticated look, I think, for a 2016 model. Having a little bit of cracking on the paint, like a ding here, but nothing crazy. And down here, these are gonna be 16-inch aluminum wheels. Into the door panel, we get express down on the driver's side window, and then the regular windows the other windows are just regular. Rear window lock is here, power mirror controls, power door lock controls, headlamp controls, trunk release, hood release. Then you get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel. But there's our 6-way manual driver's seat. Now I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. Now looking at the back seat here, and sorry for the glare, but I always thought these were cool how they put these in here. You just have like a tray for your phone or MP3 player or whatever. Seat back pockets on both sides, then another small storage tray right in there. And then the trunk space is pretty good, I think, for a car this size. And there's your spare tire underneath there. But nice looking back end, I think, as well. It's just subtle. Now to the gas cap here. This is a vehicle that can take flex fuel if you want to put E85 in it, and it is capless. Now to the rear passenger seat, I'm gonna show you how we can fold the seat down. There's a little button here, push that in, and when the seats are far enough, that'll fold flat, and you can run longer objects through to the back. Your top tethers for the car seats underneath that cover there. And then your lower latch anchors are hidden right in there. And then your child locks, just take a key and you can turn those to lock or unlock them. Front passenger seat, 4-way manual, so we can just adjust the seat back and the seat bottom. Glove compartment here, owner's manual and such in there. And a pretty inexpensive car, I think, right now here at John Roberts Toyota. Excuse the bird poop, but this is only $89.99. There's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. Actually, before we do that, I want to see what these turn signals look like. They're the ones in the side mirrors. Now we can get in the driver's seat. So hard vinyl steering wheel, only a little bit of wear on the top. I like the horn sound. Now to the radio, we do get Bluetooth audio on top of AM, FM, and then we also have our Sirius XM radio. Backup camera as well, with the guidelines that follow you as you turn the steering wheel. So that's pretty impressive for a 2016, especially an SC model. And then everything else kind of self-explanatory. We can set up our presets here, go to the menu and go through the settings depending on where you are. So display settings can be changed, clock settings, audio settings, and all of that. Hazards are here, volume. You can turn that audio off by hitting that button. Then you have a tune knob as well. Now down here we have our single zone manual climate control, so we can adjust fan speed here, fan direction here, power the whole system on or off, AC toggle, and then we have our temperature, which can be set there. USB-A input, 12 volt. And then for the shifter, 6-speed, grab the lever, reverse, neutral drive. Then you have that limiter there. And then you have what I believe to be the downhill brake control, which can be toggled here. Bottle holders, parking brake. Center console cubby space. This is what you plug everything up to. So USB, aux, 12 volt there. And then your lights right there. But there's a look at the back seat from up here. And I forgot to mention, these hooks in the ceiling are actually pretty sturdy. They're like actually in there. They're not flimsy. So I like that if you want to hang your shirts or whatever. And then there's vanity mirror with a light. Now back to the steering wheel itself. Blinkers, high beams, intermittent wipers. So that's high, low, intermittent, off, and then one time you can adjust that intermittent frequency here. Pull up for that front fluid. And then over here we have our 4 arrows and the OK button to go through the gauge cluster, the digital part here. And there's actually quite a lot that you can fool with here. So the trip meter, the info meter, and then the settings here. So in the settings, go down to display, scroll down to distance, and you can change your units of measurement for distance and temperature separately. And then you also can change your language right in here. Just a little slow it's gotten over the years, I think, but a lot of settings that you can fool with here. And then your information, you just have these few settings for the key and then notifications. But cruise control standard, on, off, set the speed, resume, cancel. And then over here we can go through the track list or radio station presets. These are also Bluetooth controls when you're in that menu, and then volume down, volume up, voice recognition right there in the middle. And then there's the key right there, lock, unlock. You can hit the button twice to open the trunk, and then your panic button's there. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2016 Ford Focus SE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Focus here, pickup's actually pretty good. It's coming out of the parking lot there. It feels really nice, really linear. I drove this back to back with the Kia Soul that also has a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and this one just feels a bit quicker. But once you actually get it up to speed, it's really mellow, really subtle in the footprint it has, if you will. It's not making a lot of noises, not doing a lot, it's just kind of cruising. And I can just say, my aunt has like a 2000, I think it's a 5 Ford Focus station wagon, and that thing almost has 200,000 miles on it, and she just kind of fixes things when they're broken, and that car's still driving, and she hasn't had to replace the engine or transmission. So these are actually somewhat reliable, especially if you keep up with the maintenance on them. But they're simple cars. You have a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, 6-speed automatic. And you know, Ford's been building cars for a long time. It's not like they just started making the Focus this year, you know, for 16, but I do like how there's space in here. I'm 6'3", and I can fit in here pretty well. Headroom is really good. Everything is within reach, very easy to reach, but it still doesn't feel like I'm in a smaller car. I have all the good aspects of being in a small car and then none of the bad ones. I don't feel like I'm about to get crushed when I'm driving the thing. I can see out well. I don't feel like I'm riding the ground. Visibility's fantastic with how the nose just slants down. Only thing I can see is the windshield wipers barely. I can't even see the hood. And then just with this one having the blind spot mirrors, that's a big plus as well on both sides. And then even the visibility with the A-pillars takes up a little space having the speaker and all that here, but not really bothersome. And actually, I like the sound of the engine. It sounds sporty. It doesn't sound like a tune or anything, but it's just a nice deep growl. Now, in terms of the audio system here, it's a stock system, so it's not fantastic, but it's decent, I think, for the segment. You get the CD drive, and then with the sync system, you do get that aux input, USB drive, and then the Bluetooth audio. Having that with a backup camera and how this one's equipped, I think a pretty good deal to be under 10 grand for this kind of car, especially with it to have less than 100,000 miles on it. And no lights are on. I really don't feel anything or notice anything that is out of the ordinary here, like nothing. Not hearing any rattles, anything. And then again, this one in particular has just a dent on the front that you could fix if you wanted to, but for this cheap of a car, I wouldn't even fool with it. Just be a good commuter car if you're trying to get something cheap. And it's just driving down the road normally, just easy to handle this car. Now, one thing we don't have here, and it's a 2016, so I'm not surprised, is we don't have different drive modes that we can use. And with this 2-liter 4-cylinder, probably not a good idea to have that anyway, except maybe an eco mode for the highway. But for the most part, just having the regular drive mode is going to be more than sufficient. Now, I'm not gonna floor it getting on the interstate because I don't want to burn the transmission up, but I am gonna give it a good pull. And I only say that because it's just, it's acting a little strange. So let's see how it gets up to speed here. Here we go. So I mean, that it did really nicely kind of getting up to speed. Now we have the cruise set here. And sound insulation here is decent. It's relatively quiet, even with the tires, all of that considered. Now, I do want to give one more thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers will find and get you the best price on this or whatever used vehicle you might be interested in. Now again, solid car for under $10,000 in my opinion. It's not going to win any races, but it is a decent commuter car, I think, especially if you want something that has a little bit of power, relatively good fuel economy, and relatively good looks for what it is. but it rides down the road nicely, interstate, back roads, and it's just it's a solid car, I think. Now, I can't really speak on it long term except the experience that I had with my family on the 2005 model, but it's just driving normally. I feel like these 2 liters are pretty solid. They have a track record of being decent cars even before putting turbochargers on everything. But it's a decent car, and again, for this price point, really can't complain about anything. But with all that being said, this is going to bring me to the end of my review of this 2016 Ford Focus SE.